Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to kind of talk about temples and the Angel Moroni on top of them and some new renderings that have been released. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you end up liking it, hit the notification bell, and then make sure to leave your comments so I can know what you think about all this. So today, we have 4 new renderings of temples, and I looked through them and I'll show you right now. None of them have the Angel Moroni on top. We got the Yorba Linda, California temple right here. Really pretty. I like that design. Grand Junction, Colorado temple. No Moroni on top. Elko, Nevada temple. No Moroni on top. Burley, Idaho temple. No Moroni on top. So this may not really come as news to you, but there are less and less Angel Moronis that are being shown or that are being put on top of the temple. And I want to show you just a few interesting facts and show you some of the data. So first, let's remember why we even have Moroni on the top, or why it was on the top of the temple. It says here, and again, I'll put all these links in the description below so you can check all these out. Ultimately, Moroni has had the same purpose that the unnamed angel Weathervane had. Speaking about the unnamed angel that was on top of the Nauvoo temple. As President Gordon B. Hinckley explained in October 1997 General Conference, the figure of Moroni atop many of our temples is a constant reminder of the vision of John the Revelator in the book of Revelation. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. So it's supposed to be a reminder of essentially the book of Revelation, and that this is the last dispensation. It's the lead up to the second coming. We know that Moroni, I've done recent videos about this, we know that Moroni gave Joseph Smith the golden plates on the Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh Hashanah. That's the high holy day of the 2 high holy days, which includes Yom Kippur as well. But that's the one where you blow the shofar, and it's to call everyone, get them ready for the Day of Atonement, which will happen 10 days after the Feast of Trumpets, and to gather in Israel. So essentially, Moroni really was a symbol of Rosh Hashanah and the Feast of Trumpets, right? Which are part of which is one of 3 holy days that are in the fall. They're the fall harvest holy days. And we know that this is the last harvest in this dispensation. So it was actually kind of a really important symbol, but now he's not really being put on new temples that are coming out. And we're going to explore that more in detail in just a minute here. So it turns out, I found this here, several temples have received angels after their dedications. So they started out without an Angel Moroni, but then later one was added. The first was the Idaho Falls, Idaho Temple, which had an Angel Moroni statue added in 1983, almost 40 years after its dedication. That's interesting, okay, because, okay, so we know that right now there's kind of like a rebranding of the church, right? In April 2020, that's when the church released the new church logo, which is the Christus statue, which features the Christus statue, showing that our central focus is Jesus Christ, right? And obviously that's not something new. We've believed that the entire time that we've been a church since Joseph Smith. So it would seem that back in the 80s and into the 2000s, the church, and specifically the general authorities, felt at that time that Moroni should be on top of the temple. Because you have to remember, if you make a temple and then you add a statue on top, that costs money. So it's not something that is just taken lightly. It's something that they must have been inspired to do at that time. So keep this in mind. So for the whole history of the church, up until now, they found it appropriate to put the angel on top of the temple. But now something's changed. And I don't think it's just because, oh, we've been making a mistake all these years. Now we need to. No, 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 no. I think that this has to do with the second coming and getting ready for it. And I believe that because all the billions of things that President Nelson has said and the other general authorities saying that we're leading up to right now the second coming. We're getting ready. I believe that's why the Salt Lake Temple is currently being renovated, which is scheduled to be complete in 2024, the year of the second eclipse of these two eclipses that are 7 years apart. The first one in 2017, the second one in 2024. I don't think that's a mistake or a coincidence. I don't think these timelines and the choices that are being made are arbitrary. Okay, so let's move on. As part of the renovation projects in the 2000s, so even more recently, the church added Angel Moroni statues to several of the originally statueless temples, including Friedberg, Germany, 2001, Ogden, Utah, 2002, Provo, Utah, 2003, Sao Paulo, Brazil, 2003, Tokyo, Japan, 2004, Bern, Switzerland, 2005, and London, England, 2008 temples. So this would have been like in the Gordon B. Hinckley era. I can't remember the year that President Monson became prophet, but this is pretty much in the Gordon B. Hinckley era. Okay, now the process of building a temple. You may have read this article before. It talks about all the stages of building a temple. I wanted to know, I wanted to officially find who is it that has the ultimate say on these, how the temple, the architecture of the temple, and up to and including placing a Moroni on top. It says here, the design process can take up to 2 years, and Elder Walker notes that along the way, from architectural detail clear down to colors and carpet swatches, the first presidency is involved and provides final approvals. So whether there's Angel Moroni on top or not, all the details, like it says, down to the carpet, that's all approved by the first presidency. So, and this is a pretty big detail, having an Angel Moroni on top. That's a really big detail. So I'm pretty sure that the first presidency doesn't just like set that to default necessarily. All right, now this LDS Living article also it notes that there's beginning to be less and less temples that have Angel Moronis on top. And this article came out May 29th, 2020 by Lindsay Williams. Let's see. 11 operating temples do not have an Angel Moroni statue. Angel Moroni statue is set atop 157 of the 168 operating temples of the church. 11 temples, as of the time of this article, do not have Angel Moroni statues. And here you have all these older temples, right? Now, interesting right here. So in other words, the vast majority, 157 out of 168 had or still do have Angel Moronis on top, with only just a few exceptions, just 11 as of May 29th, 2020. Okay, only 11. So for like basically the whole history of the church up until 2020, only 11 didn't have Angel Moronis. Now, interesting right here. Not included in the list above is the Hong Kong China Temple, which will lose its Angel Moroni statue as part of an extensive renovation. So this one, it had an Angel Moroni that was already bought and paid for and already on the temple, but as part of the renovation, it's coming off. It's coming off. All right. And then this goes, let's see. The church has released exterior renderings of 48 new temples. Of the 48 renderings, 33 renderings do not feature an Angel Moroni statue. And here's the list right here. So remember up here that out of all the temples constructed, there were only 11 that didn't have Angel Moronis, look at the size of this list right here, and now go down here and look at the size of this list. Okay, so something has definitely changed, and I don't think that it's just arbitrary. I think that it's a move that is coming to fruition based on revelation and inspiration through the prophet and the first presidency. Okay, so there were just a few things here in this article I wanted to go over. In all, 225 temples have been dedicated, announced, or are under construction. This is October 2020 across the globe. According to church spokesman Doug Anderson, of those 156 of the operating temples have Moroni statues, he added, along with 15 others that have renderings. That means 54 either don't have them or may not when their renderings are released. And we just had 4 more renderings that were released, and they do not have the Angel Moroni. Observers have noted that the escalating Moroni-less temple trend coincides with the leadership of President Russell M. Nelson, a man who has been talking about the second coming like every single time he gets a chance, along with gathering scattered Israel, who took the reins of the 16.5 million member Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in January 2018. Organizations are always looking at rebranding if they think the current brand is antiquated, if it no longer is valid or in favor, says Alan Roberts, a Salt Lake City architect who worked on many temple exterior designs. I suppose they're trying to Christianize a church that claims to be Christ-centered. They would want to gradually pull away from images that don't seem to reinforce that. I don't know about that. This is a Salt Lake Tribune article, and the Salt Lake Tribune isn't the friendliest to the church. Now, this is a quote from an architect, but this is a quote they would probably want to include in their article. I don't think it's because we're trying to Christianize the church. We've already been Christian since the very beginning. And part of the Christian religion, before the church even came on the scene, there's been it's the Christian church as a whole is strongly associated with angels, right? The whole idea for the Angel Moroni statue and putting it on top of the temple comes from the book of Revelation. So I get that President Nelson wants to make sure that the focus is really on Christ, but I think it's more than that. I think he's actually getting the church ready. Like, the focus is now switching. It's switching from the time of the Gentiles, I believe, to getting ready for the second coming when Christ is actually going to be here. So I think it was very appropriate to have the Angel Moroni kind of be one of the main symbols of the church, because you look at that and you think when you see a trumpet blowing, or angel blowing a trumpet, you get thoughts that that's like a warning call to all the world. And it is, and that's what it was. That's why we received the Book of the gold plates on the Feast of Trumpets. That was no coincidence. It was the final warning call. The shofar, which is a ram's horn, was blown, essentially, when Joseph Smith received the gold plates. And we've had all this time to do missionary work and spread the gospel and bring all of scattered Israel in, and that's not complete yet. We're still doing it until the harvest is over. But I think President Nelson is basically telling us, as well as getting ready for the second coming, that the harvest is coming to a close. Okay, it's not going to go on forever. We know that. We know that the wheat is going to be separated from the tares. The tares are going to be burned. The wheat's going to be harvested. It's going to come to an end. In just a couple days here, we've passed this year, we've passed Rosh Hashanah, and yesterday was Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and then in just a few days here, we're going to have the Feast of Tabernacles, and the Feast of Tabernacles is like the official end of the harvest for that year. That's like when that it signifies the official end. So, and also it's interesting to note that this year, this Jewish year, 5782, is a sabbatical year in which no farming is done. So it could be a special year. I mean, it is just by virtue of the fact that it's a sabbatical year, but especially in this time that we're living in right now with President Nelson and with temples no longer having the Angel Moroni on top. Yeah, it's a very, very, very interesting time. I don't know if there was, I can't remember if there was like anything else here. Oh yeah, beyond temples, the Moroni image became ubiquitous in the church. It graced Book of Mormon covers, pamphlets, seminary and institute manuals, even Latter-day Saint gravestones. And in fact, that's what they have like for the military gravestones for veterans. It's an Angel Moroni. It still appears on the Latter Days Saints TV channel. What seems to be happening is that as we celebrate the official 200th anniversary of the first vision as a church, the Angel Moroni is being eclipsed, Nielsen writes, and placed in a secondary position to Jesus Christ in the iconography of the church. And then you scroll down, and here's the official new logo of the church that's replacing the Angel Moroni. So it's fascinating. It's also fascinating to note that this happened. The conference happened just a month after the Angel Moroni dropped his trumpet off the Salt Lake Temple after an earthquake, and after a protest from BYU students that were protesting for LGBT issues. So that happened a couple weeks later. Angel Moroni dropped his trumpet, and I don't know about you, but the first thing that comes to mind for me is that, hey, this is over. Okay, the harvest is coming to a close. The shofar is no longer being blown. And then just a few weeks after that, we had conference, and we had this logo change. And now, at this same time, we're no longer having Angel Moronis put on top of temples for the most part. Okay, so here is an article in the Deseret News, and this was updated August 19th, 2020, so that's recently. Of course, not recently enough for these 4 temples. These were just put out today, these renderings. So this is the last part of the video, and I just kind of want to show you when it seems the change, exactly when the change happened, okay? And this part might be a little bit more on the monotonous side, but I think you'll still find it interesting. So this article has all the temples, and it has pictures of all of them. It's really cool. So we can like actually look and see what all the temples look like. And for some of them, they're just renderings for the newer ones, and then some of them don't even have renderings yet, but they still include it here in this list. So I'm going to do a word search for 2018, okay? And this is going to bring up all instances that 2018 shows up in this article. You can see over here in the scroll bar, this is where, if you were to scroll down to these little yellow lines, this is where in the article you'll find 2018. So I'm going to try and kind of just quickly go through these. Okay, so we can kind of try and pinpoint when this change happened. So I'm going to be looking for when temples were announced. Okay, so for example, with this one, I'm not looking at this. This is just the groundbreaking. I'm more interested in when the temple was announced. So let's go through it. Why is it not? Okay, wait. Let me close out of this. Do it again. Okay, so this temple, Auckland, New Zealand, announced no Angel Moroni. Okay, let's find the next one. Bengaluru, India, no Angel Moroni. April 2018. This one's announced, but it does not yet have a rendering. It's a Philippines temple. Davao, I don't know if that's how that's pronounced. Davao, Philippines, no Angel Moroni. Okay, Feather River, California. Now, this one does have an Angel Moroni. This was announced in October 2018. President Nelson became president January of 2018. But he would have been the one to announce this temple. So this one does have an Angel Moroni. But just hang with me and watch what happens. Okay, this one's announced, but there's no rendering. Okay, this one, April 2018, Layton, Utah, and that one does have an Angel Moroni. By the way, Layton, that's somewhere that I was actually going to buy a house back when we lived in Utah, but thank goodness we didn't do that. And that was like early in my marriage. Okay, here's another one without rendering. Okay, October 2018, Mendoza, Argentina, no Angel Moroni. Here we have the Phnom Penh, Cambodia temple, which I think looks amazing, and I'm really glad that they're doing this kind of style so it fits in with the country and fits in with the culture. I know that's what they do with all the temples, but no Angel Moroni. Praia Cabo Verde temple, no Angel Moroni. Red Cliffs, Utah temple, it does have an Angel Moroni. This one was announced October 2018, so this would have been the October General Conference, the first year of President Nelson's presidency. All right, Richmond, Virginia, April of 2018, it does have an Angel Moroni. Okay, what do we got here? Salta, Argentina, yes, it does. April 2018. Salvador, Brazil, no Angel Moroni, and this one was in October. And that one, I really dig these stained glass windows. That looks, I wish I had a close-up of that, but those are really pretty. All right, San Juan, Puerto Rico, no Angel Moroni. Yigo, Guam, no Angel Moroni. That was October. Auckland, New Zealand. Okay, now we're back at the top. Okay, so for 2018, I didn't get the actual, I didn't count how many, but it seemed like maybe something like half and half, maybe more, maybe less had Angel Moronis. So now let's look at 2019. Okay, so, all right, no picture for this one. No picture for that one. Here we got Coban, Guatemala, no Angel Moroni. Deseret Peak, Utah, temple, no Angel Moroni. Keep going down, keep going down. McAllen, Texas, no Angel Moroni. I love this kind of like Spanish mission style here. I think that's really cool. Moses Lake, Washington, no Angel Moroni. Te'iafu, Tonga, no Angel Moroni. Okinawa, Japan, no Angel Moroni. Orem, Utah, no Angel Moroni. I really like this steeple piece right here. Pago Pago, American Samoa, no Angel Moroni. Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, no Angel Moroni. What else do we got? We're getting close to the bottom here. Okay, San Pedro Sula, Honduras, no Angel Moroni. Again, it has that really cool kind of Spanish mission look. Love that. I've always liked it. Taylorsville, Utah. No Angel Moroni. I used to live in Taylorsville. That was like the first place I lived in my early marriage. That's the first place we moved to. Um, Antofagasta, Chile. No Angel Moroni. No picture. Oh, okay, we're back at the top. Okay. So let's look at 2020. See what we can find. No picture. No picture. Bentonville, Arkansas. Hey, that's kind of close to me. No Angel Moroni. No picture. No picture. Linden, Utah. No Angel Moroni. No picture. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. No Angel Moroni. No picture. No picture. No picture. No picture. Syracuse, Utah. No Angel Moroni. That's a tall temple. Okay. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, Tallahassee, Florida. No Angel Moroni. No picture. And now we're back at the top. All right, and now let's just do a search for 2021. Because I think there was at least a couple. Let's see. No picture, no picture, no picture, no picture. No picture. I think there's at least one. I could be wrong. Yeah, here we go. Helena, Montana. No Angel Moroni. No picture. Let's keep going. No picture. Getting down toward the bottom here. Was it just the Helena, Montana? Yeah. So the only one announced this year that has a rendering so far is the Helena, Montana, and it does not have an Angel Moroni. So it seems that 2018 was, unless something changes going forward, or if we get more renderings out, it seems like 2018 was the last year that we had temples that were designed to have the Angel Moroni on top, and that was the first year that we started having temples without Angel Moronis. And I can only assume, based on this pattern, that that'll probably continue going forward, that we're no longer going to have Angel Moronis on top. Of course, I can't say that for sure. Maybe they will, but it sure doesn't seem like it. So please let me know what you think, what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. Do you have any other information about this? I find it fascinating. You may not, but I do. And I do think that it's a sign of the times. I think that it's not simply that a mistake was made or that we should have been doing this the whole time and that the church logo should have been this the whole time. I don't think so. We've had all the other prophets that have been have had access to the same revelation and inspiration, and I think that the church didn't make any mistakes by having the Angel Moroni so prominent within church iconography. It's just now we're just like President Nelson said, we're at a hinge point, aren't we? And this is probably part of that hinge point. Things are changing. We are getting ready for the second coming, and I believe it is just around the corner. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video if you end up liking it, hit the notification bell, and then I'll talk to you next time.